Hey everyone, this is Dr. Mark Cheng, and I'm here today at the Juice Compound in Pasadena, California with Dr. Jason Han. This afternoon we took the day off, did a little bit of a mind meld, and we were talking about concepts in sport training that would allow you to get the most out of a particular exercise. In other words, if you were working with someone that had a particular problem that needed a clinical intervention, how could you give them a corrective exercise? And with that same exercise, give someone that doesn't have that clinical problem a strength and conditioning exercise. So therefore, giving you the most bang for the buck. And we were talking about some common problems that we see in a lot of athletes and certainly in a lot of patients. And oftentimes we come back to hip mobility. Now the hips are the cornerstone of the human body. If the hips aren't functioning well, what's below it, meaning the knees and the ankles, are going to suffer, and certainly what's above it, such as the lower back, shoulders, neck, could suffer as well. So one of the things that we looked at today was the Cossack, or the single leg squat laterally. And we came up with some ideas as far as breaking them down to allow your athletes or your patients to be able to access these ranges of motion in the safest and most sustainable possible ways. Now to start off, for people that aren't familiar with the Cossack, this is what it's going to look like. In an ideal sense, you're going to start off with your feet roughly about double shoulder width apart. From double shoulder width apart, let's say I'm going to go down to this side. I'm going to keep my heel down, and I'm going to sink down, rotating such that the toes of this foot go straight up and this knee stays straight. I'm going to drop down, this foot stays flat, the knee on the side that I'm going towards does not buckle inward and stays lateral to this midline of the foot. The leg stays straight, toes are pointed at the ceiling, and then I come out nice and slowly in the same way. I should be able to achieve this range of motion with the same kind of ease and the same kind of control and the same kind of level of comfort on both sides. So as I do this, I shouldn't necessarily fall into one or have to jerk my way out of the other by rocketing up, but I should be able to come up nice and slowly and calmly. That's the bodyweight Cossack stretch or Cossack squat. Now, for those people that don't necessarily have that same range of motion, don't think that it's an issue of flexibility. Oftentimes it's an issue of control. What do I mean by that? If you give someone an external support such as like a pillar, a door handle, any stable object, and allow them to work that, they may be able to go down lower and lower and lower now that they have something external to stabilize them, and then work their way back up. So if you've got someone that doesn't have that same range of motion, that ideal range of motion, give them an external support, something stable, and allow them to work their way down. Once they have that and they're able to use this as training wheels, then allow them to work their way back up with it. Once they've been able to master or develop a kind of confidence and competence with that external support that's stable, work them up to an unstable external support, such as a TRX. And with the TRX, you can certainly take them and you've got this external support with the straps. And so then the suspension trainer then allows you to drop down on one side and then work your way back up, giving you this gentle assist. From there, once you've got that dialed in with the external unstable support, then you should be able to access that with body weight. The next level in the progression for a lot of people is then going to be adding loads, such as, let's say, taking a kettlebell, holding it in like goblet squat position, and then working that same kind of range of motion, that same kind of goblet squat grip position, but still working the Cossack. So from here, no matter where I am, hanging out at the bottom, coming up at the top, I want to still be able to demonstrate that I have this weight under control, and then I can move through those ranges of motion. One of the concepts that Dr. Han and I were talking about, however, was using that simple exercise as mental training as well. So now I'm going to ask Dr. Han to come out and help me here. And we've got a relatively light med ball. And what Dr. Han's going to do is just going to pass this back and forth to me. Now, here's the other thing we're going to work on as well. Optimize control through maximum ranges of motion. That sounds really technical, right? Let's look at it like this. I should be able to, or rather, you should be able to take this exercise and move it through any part of the range of motion without momentum. Now, what does that mean? You should be able to do that exercise as slowly as possible, pause anywhere in the progression, and change directions. So, for argument's sake, I'm going to go drop down on the Cossack squat towards you guys. and we're just going to pass this back and forth. And as I'm passing this back and forth, I should be able to go as slow as possible and still keep responsive and reactive responsive rather than reactive. So I should be able to handle this, and instead of resorting to a high stress, high tension strategy to do this, I should be able to handle this in the most efficient possible way as I'm working through this particular exercise. So now I have to stay visually engaged, I have to stay relaxed and responsive without being frantic and reactive. That allows me to get the most out of this exercise on a neurological level as well as a strength and conditioning level. Give that a try and let us know how it goes.